Sometimes we make decisions about our EDC survival, trek, and hiking gear that streamlines the use case for stuff. Although we may be big components of owning a lot of gear, sometimes just having one of something makes a lot of sense. And when it comes to a sling bag or a waist pack, there are not a lot on the market except for the makers of, like, you got folks like 511 and Eberly stock, and then a brand that's a sleeper brand that we oftentimes don't talk about, but I have featured them on the channel before, Roaring Fire. And Roaring Fire in their Ridger waist pack, which is a mouthful and extremely hard to say, is still one of those packs, one of those sling bags that if you're looking for something that is versatile for both hiking, survival, trekking, and urban EDC, this might be your one and done bag for those occasions. I'm going to tell you my bottom line up front. If you're okay with the price point of $52 or below, because that's the MSRP, but there's often coupons, dealers sell it for less. Sometimes it goes on sale on Amazon. You're okay with the look and the fact that it's rugged, but you can also use it for EDC, and you want something that can hold your CCW, your survival, but also your mints and your gum, then this might be for you. But if you think it's a little bit too rugged, then it might not be your cup of tea. This is by Roaring Fire. Now, Roaring Fire, they've come up with this Ridger waist pack. I don't like the name. I think it's hard to say, but I get it. You're going on ridges, cliffs, climbing, etc., and they're trying to say this could be the waist pack for you. You can get it in two different colors. You can get it in the FDE nylon, or you can get it in a rustic brown. The rustic brown is wax canvas. It weighs a little bit more than this one. This is 1000D Cordura, and it's FDE, I believe stands for flat flat dark earth, but I don't really know. It doesn't really specify on their website, but that's their cute name for the coyote, the khaki, the ranger color, like just the color that a lot of different folks use. 1000D, why the hell would you want that? Well, if you're going to be walking or hiking or trekking, and you're going to be tossing this on rocks, walking through brush that's going to be scraping your clothing, you want something that can resist being ripped, torn, etc. So that's why a lot of sling bags that I feature on this channel just don't really make the cut for that. I like the stuff that comes from Data Crew. I like the stuff that comes from Alpaca and Nutsack. But a lot of times you're not going to be able to take those and use those as a high back waisted waist pack. If you're going to be hiking, stuff is going to be touching that pack. When you get to a stop site, you're going to toss it on the ground in the mud against a rock. That's why you want 1000D. Now, 1000D is not the most kind to your clothing. I think that's why on the rear of the pack, they didn't go with 1000D. I don't know what the hell this is. It's like a breathable mesh, and it does breathe really, really well. It kind of makes a lot of sense. You can't get this in two colors. I don't have the wax canvas. I'm assuming wax canvas is wax canvas. I don't know a lot about it, but I kind of like the way this rocks. Now, Roaring Fire sent this out to me. They're not paying for this video. They didn't even know I was going to do the video. So this video will be a surprise to them as it is for you. I like this. Not gonna lie to you, it works well in an urban environment. I took this to go meet up with a bunch of cheerleader moms. I'm literally the only dad there. And I got this thing slang across my high chest, pectoralis major, pectoralis minor, and it just fits. Okay, I don't look like an oddball. I look like somebody that just has his urban crap with him, ready to grab some hand sanitizer or give my 16-year-old my cell phone. That's all this thing kind of screams whenever you're in an urban environment. However, you can also take this as a beginner's version for rucking. A lot of times I'll talk to you guys about rucking, and rucking is just walking with extra weight, okay? This could be your starter pack for rucking with extra weight. This thing itself weighs less than 16 ounces, a little bit over 8 ounces specifically. Once you rig it up, it still could weigh less than 3 pounds, depends on the type of crap you put inside. I'll show you some gear suggestions and how I have mine loaded up. The very front, as you can see, does have a loop panel. If you have stuff with a hook back, you can decorate it with your favorite patches, or you can label it with medkit identification or any other important identification, just in case someone were to walk up on you in a hiking or survival situation. They would know you're allergic to penicillin, or that you have meds inside, or whatever the hell you want to put on here. There has 2 loops on the front. These are a little bit bigger than Molly or Powell size. I think they're big enough to put a tourniquet. I'm not really sure. I don't know if I will keep a tourniquet on the outside, but maybe you would want to if you're keeping it as a high-waisted rear waist pack. So I like the extra storage. I do actually like the flavor of the loop panel one here because it is well integrated. It does not look like an afterthought. There are too many times when I see loop panel put on the front of sling bags and it looks like we have a blank space. Let's put loop panel there. That's not what this is. The very front pouch itself has RFID blocking technology, not the whole sling, just the front pouch. That means if you want to put your wallet, you want to put your cards, or you want to put your key fobs to your vehicle in the very front pouch, it does have a layer of added protection. So it is a good area for you to put those items inside. YKK zippers throughout, and all of them have this wrapping around. It's similar to a Ranger band. I forget exactly what they call this crap, but I do know that if you remove this, this is flammable. So in a emergency situation, your zipper pulls are also a part of your survival. So that makes a lot of sense as well. Every zipper pull is the same except for the CCW compartment, which we'll talk about here in a second, which is one of my cons about the bag. You jump into the main portion of the bag, and this is where it gets kind of interesting because you do have a foldable. I like the fact that it kind of flaps down and folds, and this thing almost always stands up on its own. Big plus in my book, so that I can always just kind of see what the heck I want. Why do I want it? Do I want to grab this item or do I want to grab that item? So we'll take everything out and just kind of show you as gear suggestions, and then that way you can make a decision if this thing works out for you. So I do keep a pen in here. This pen is by Proof Wallets. Now Proof, this is kind of like one of their early models of a pen. I don't really like it. I don't know if I'm going to do a review on it, Proof. I don't like the ink that you're using. They're using Write in the Rain pen. The ergonomics is not the best. The price point is kind of high, but we'll talk about that in the future. Then we keep a little bit of lip balm, okay? Burt's Bees. It's important to keep your lips moisturized, just like it is to hydrate. Okay. Also, a Zippo next to here, fire source. I smoke sticks. Being able to have quick access to a Zippo is nice. You can see that it has that Pals or Molly in the front. That's kind of the size of this. A little bit bigger. We're gonna call it elastic straps because it's not really 100% Pal size. Next to it, I do have a Tide pen. And the tie pin kind of neatly sits where you would normally put a pin, but I had that coupled next to the pin was actually next to the lip balm. Then I have a battery bank. This battery bank is by Sarge. I think this is a 10,000 milliamp hour battery bank, but it's also MagSafe compatible, meaning that if you have a phone with MagSafe, put it on there, it can charge your devices and all of that good stuff. I've talked about this before in the past as well. Next to that, it is a flashlight that's bigger than what I would normally keep in my pocket, but is very, very usable and functional flashlight. This is a Streamlight Mega Stream. This is the USB. I like this bad boy. I like the fact that they came up with something bigger than the Macro Stream. It does have USB-C compatible for recharging on the battery. Thank gosh you're moving towards that Streamlight and getting away from micro USB. Very, very capable. I forget the lumen output on this. I'll put any specs about it on the screen. Momentary switch is my favorite part on this flashlight. A lot of flashlights these companies are making nowadays have 2 issues with me. The ergos of the UI, the user interface, is mushy. This button's not mushy, and they don't have momentary switches. If you can't also do good heat dissipation, those are 3 strikes and you're out when it comes to it with a flashlight. This one doesn't do any of those bad, so that's why that one stays rocking with me quite well. And then this is kind of a little trifecta area back here because these all go together. This is a Leatherman Surge along with half of a Leatherman bit kit and a Leatherman ratchet tool extension. So have all these in here just in case we're at a girlfriend's house, a friend's house, we want to tighten something, you need to repair a knife or whatever. Everything is kind of just always at the ready and ready to go. So you can kind of see these elastic straps back here do afford you a lot of room to put all sorts of stuff back here, and that's just a suggestion of loadout. Next, on the other side, you do have, once again, able to fold it back. I like that. I like that. You do have this zipper, which a partial mesh see-through. You can kind of see the items I have in there just a little bit. And you see jumping inside, I do have my business card holder for whenever I do stuff for Marine X if I'm filming somewhere or whatever, and people are wondering what the hell am I doing. A little bit of field books to go with that pen that you saw earlier if I want to leave a note for somebody. I've been treating this like an EDC Sling, so that means I am rocking my Google Pixel Buds Pro. Give me some suggestions for a new pair of earbuds because my right one no longer works, only the left one. I'm very pissed about that. I'm thinking about getting the Beats Power Beats Pro or whatever, the ones that go over your ear, but I need some suggestions on earbuds that you guys use. And then the only other thing that's in here is an air tag. Now I would like a little air tag hidden area in this. That would be pretty dope or nice, but it is what it is. So the only other area that's back here is they do have the very rear of this slated as a CCW area. Now, when this is on your body, you can't quickly access the CCW area, but you can get in there. Okay, you can get in there. The CCW area is padded. Okay, so the reason they padded it is because there's basically you're only going to be able to fit subcompacts, very small weapons back there. This is a 380, a bodyguard by Smith & Wesson. You're not going to be able to fit any large weapons in the very back, and you might, and it's padded so that you can just keep that right in the rear. You can put your weapon naked back there. I will keep a weapon back there that has a safety on it if I were you. It is also padded, so if you wanted to put something back there that's important to you, like sunglasses, I guess they could fit in there. I don't know if I will put sunglasses that close to my body because you may crush them absent-mindedly, but a weapon, yeah, hands down, do that all day. And so that kind of just lets you know what will fit back here. Now, one thing that they've done with these straps is they've decided to make the rear center the place where you actually make the adjustments for the strap itself. Makes a lot of sense because if you're hiking or trekking or whatever, you can just reach around your body with either hand and adjust and loosen this waist pack without having to depend on one side or the other. So if you have stuff rigged up heavily, maybe you want to go with the left side or the right, and it does adjust very easily. You just simply pull on both sides and you have that. As for cord for the management, it has a built-in holder in there, which works well. The more you do it, you could even roll it up if you wanted to. No real complaints about this. I don't know the longevity of how these straps are gonna hold up. They just give me the feeling that they're gonna fray, but the sewing feels good. But at only 2 weeks of use, I can't give you how well these are going to hold up. My fear is that they're gonna fray on the ends, but I don't know, okay? But this thing's only 52 bucks, so to each their own. This is the Roaring Fire Ridger Race Pack. Horrible name, tremendous results. There are other competitors out there, stuff coming in from Eberly stock as mentioned. You can get stuff from 511. You can get stuff from Vertex. I like the price point of this. I like the fact that they really seem to put their heads together when it comes to the use case for the items inside. Doesn't seem like they were overdoing it. And if it was any higher than $52, I would have a big issue with this pack. Comment down below, what do you think of this? Would you buy it? S for smash, P for pass. I would love to know what your comments down below. If this is your first time stopping by, hit the subscribe button. I would love to have you part of the battalion. If this is not your first time stopping by, well, thank you once again for watching me run my grape. For everyone else, we'll speak soon.